I am so excited to share this next story with you. It's a story photojournalist Kurt Austin and I have been working on for months. Well, years, really. It's the story of a brother's love for his long-lost sister. We have followed Jeff and Molly Daly's journey through many twists and turns, and it's led us now to the coast, where we discovered a bunch of clowns, a special car, and an extraordinary project. Take a ride with us in the Astoria Clown Car.
Okay, watch your eyes.
Making a mess and a lot of noise.
And I do that well. This is fun.
It may just look like an old car that needs a lot of work.
Oh, absolutely.
And it does.
She fights me once in a while, but...
But like it's peeling coats of paint,
Should we paint this, you think?
this car's story has many layers that cover decades of laughter and tears.
Each one of us have a tie to this car.
I love it when the Astoria clowns came to town.
Yes. Yeah, my dad was one of the original ones.
I remember when it was orange.
He was a unicycle rider.
My dad was the funniest man.
Unbelievable. My dad, his gag when he was a clown was he was a photographer.
As Jeff Daly and the other sons and daughters of the Astoria Clowns gather in a garage in Hammond, Oregon,
Dad would have been 29, and I went.
they can't help but clown around as they recall the glory days
Pop goes the weasel.
of the 1948 Stretch Chrysler.
You got it.
We did a lot of things with other families with the clown car.
In the 1950s and 60s, their dads rode in the car in parades all over the state to promote the town of Astoria.
You remember those stories because we as kids would get to ride in the car once in a while.
But when it passed its heyday, somehow the clown car ended up in a hay field.
Say, I heard there's a clown car over there in the desert.
He hauled it back to what's become a 3-ring clown car repair shop.
We haven't figured it out yet.
I know our dads are up there. They're just laughing their asses off.
The Chrysler needed a new frame,
So we flopped it.
so Jeff's friend, mechanical genius Jason, chopped up Jeff's 2000 Ford van, put the Chrysler body on it, but the engine only fit backwards.
Forward or backwards? You think that's going that way, or are we going this way? What are we gonna do with our steering wheel? You think we're gonna tighten? Uh-oh, it's up.
For all
There we
its
go.
silliness,
Whoa.
This car is just not an automobile. There's so many of us who have like poignant stories that are attached to this car, and that to me is, Molly's story is the biggest.
Molly, the real reason for Jeff's passion for the car.
I'm 6 years old. Where'd she go?
In 2007, Jeff, a former network TV videographer,
Nobody told me.
documented his search for his long-lost sister, Molly.
He idolized her.
Molly disappeared. She had developmental disabilities. Their parents did what many did back then. They turned her over to the state-run Institution for the Feeble-Minded.
First stop in the journey of a mentally retarded child.
Jeff's father, Jack, tried to visit Molly, but the goodbyes were too painful for her. So staffers asked him not to come back. And this is where the clown car comes back in.
My dad and the other clowns thought, well, if they don't know you're there, you can still go visit, can't you?
Hidden behind the face of a clown, he could make his daughter smile, and she never knew it was him.
So what they would do is they would take this car. When they would be on a parade, they might be down in Salem, they might be in Eugene, they would drive by the institution in Fairview, and they would go in and visit Molly.
There's Molly. That's my sister.
Molly! After their parents died, Jeff searched for Molly and found her at a group home in Hillsboro. They saw each other for the first time in 47 years. It was just days before she turned 50.
Molly's birthday is coming up.
10 years later,
In May is going to be her 60th birthday. She'll recognize this car.
it's the love that powers this project.
There we go.
A ride for Molly
You can't hurt it.
in the clown car.
You climb up on it, and you do whatever you need to it.
Well, fill me in. How does this thing run?
But first, they have to get it running.
You think it's gonna start?
Oh, it's going to be great.
The sons and daughters gather to watch the rebirth.
Look out! Here we go.
It's quite a sight driving forwards,
And forward.
backwards,
Oh, jeez. How about
Wait, oh, you're confused, aren't you?
and being a clown car, it isn't done with surprises.
And we're going.
Oh!
After working out a few kinks,
It's fixed.
Look at this.
the next ride goes a little smoother. She's ready for Molly.
Look out!
Well, it's going to be a good one today. Isn't this great?
Sometimes life doesn't go as planned.
Let it be a party.
Oh, it's priceless.
The clown car is here.
Totally unique.
So are the guests.
What a very special day.
It is.
There's cake and music. But instead of a birthday party, it's a celebration of Molly's life. Molly died
Father in heaven,
2 weeks before her 60th birthday.
you've called Molly home.
And I know that my dad and my mom and Molly are now together, wondering, laughing, trying to figure out how we're going to get this car back to Astoria at the end of the day. How special is that? Thank you.
Molly would get her ride,
That's my dad, and this is Molly.
her boots and her ashes
Here come your passengers.
right next to her dad's,
They get their ride.
Oh, yes.
There's my dad and there's Molly.
together again in the Astoria clown car.
Thanks, brother.
A car that seems to be looking backward,
All right, boys.
but is really headed forward into a future inspired by a bunch of clowns and Molly.
The sons and daughters of the original Astoria clowns have big plans. They already have their costumes and clown names picked out. They plan to pick up where their dads left off and take the clown car to parades and hospitals around the region. And you can bet they'll be thinking of their dads and Molly.